In this lecture, we are going to create our sign up page. So first we say nano, which is the name of our editor, and then create a page. Let's name it signup.html and we hit enter. As we said before, first we create our different tags. HTML, we create our head tag. In here we explained earlier that in the head tag we say link rel is equal to a style sheet, and then href is equal to the name of the CSS file that we want to use. For this we want to name it sign.css, and we close the link tag. Now we open the body tag. We explained about all of these things in the previous lectures. Now everything that we want to write would be in the body tags in here. Also we press Ctrl Shift and T and create another file called sign.css, which will include all the CSS styles in the signup.html. Now, as the name suggests, the sign up would be a form consisting of 2 or maybe 3 text boxes for the username, the name and email, and also a sign up button. I have usually people say before we start teaching, we create a sign up form and then we show the first sign up form that this is the form that we want to create, and then we start by creating it. But in this case I wanted to not to do it before, so that we both go along as we start the code. So if some problem occurs, we would troubleshoot it together. So first of all, the tag in the HTML that we use for creating the form is form. So we create a form tag. Everything for the form would be in this tag in here. As we said, for every tag it's better that we assign it an ID or a class, because form would be one tag in our whole web page, so we won't use the class but instead an ID. Let's name it form. Now in the form, also because I said most of the times it's better, or I like to put my different tags inside another div tag. So I say div ID, and let's name it page, maybe for the whole page, and this is div. So I want to put everything inside another tag. Now in the form we would create some content. One of them is a text box which would be used for the username. So in here we say input. Input is the tag which is used for creating almost everything that is related to the form, for creating text boxes, checkboxes, radio buttons, or other kind of things. If we want to create different type of elements like text boxes and button, we would change some attribute named type. So if we say input type is equal to text, it would create an input button. It would create a text box. So in here, if I close the, also it should have a name. Name is equal to, let's say, user. Now if I press Ctrl O, hit enter to save it and open my browser in here, this is our main page. If we go to the signup.html and we hit enter, you see right now we have created this text box which we could start typing in it. So let's get back. We have 2 choices. One of them is to, for example, write something in here saying username, and then it would be something like this. For the password and other things we do the same. Or what we could do in a better way, I think, is to use another attribute called placeholder. Now if we say placeholder is equal to then username, and again we save it and we refresh it, as you see now we have username inside it. So a user could understand that this is for username and start typing. I think this is better. Also, as we said before, we always assign an ID to all our tags, or because we have multiple inputs, I want to assign a class in here. The name of it, we say it should be, for example, again, text, any name that you want. Now let's get back to the second one. So I just paste it in here. The second one, again, we want it to be another text box, maybe for password. So let's change the name. Later, when we want to grab the contents that user enters for these textbooks, we would use name. That's why I'm using name in here. So let's name it pass. And then for the placeholder, we say password. One way is this, so that when the user enters in here, it knows this is for username and this is for password. The problem is that for the password, when we type, other people could see, so we could change the type from the text in here to be of type of password. In this way, if we refresh the page, nothing would change, but the password, as you see, no one could see the content when the user is typing, unlike the username, which is the type of the text. So one of them is user, the other is password, or actually, let me just, I want to create another text box. Let me just name it, instead of the second one, I want it to be for email. So in here, let's name it email, and the placeholder, we want to be email, and I think that's good. So if we refresh it and go in here, as you see, we have 3 text boxes. One of them username, which user could type, other is for the password, is for the email, and the third one is for the password. Now it's time that we create the button. So for the button, again, we use input, but instead, let me just paste another line in here, and I want to change the class to assign it an ID, because we would have one button in here. Let's name it sub, and for the type, instead of text or password, we say submit. The name, I also want it to be submit, and a button wouldn't have any placeholder, but instead would have a value. The value would specify what should be the name of the button. Let's name it sign up. Now if we refresh it, you see we have a sign up button in here which we could click. So we have username, email, and password. So the thing that we learned in here is that we have using one input, we could just create text boxes and all the elements in the form based on what we enter for the type. We learned 3 different types: text, password, and submit. Text creates a text box which other people could see what user types. Type of password, no one could see what user typing, and type of submit would create a button.